I was definitely shocked. Like it almost took a moment too, like for my brain to like adjust that like we won, that we were like 92. Like that was insane.
I felt so proud of us as a team. Like I felt like we just worked so well together, and I in fact just was like, we need to paint again together because it was really successful.
It feels great. It feels like being in a lottery.
I think that's why it was so shocking. I really thought that we were going to pull ahead.
There were some things we didn't even get to because we kept adjusting, like, okay, this is too much color, let's tone it down. We really struggled with it, and even second guessing ourselves and each other.
I just feel like I was kind of the team leader, so I kind of feel like a part of me failed the team.
It feels like the end of the road for me, and that feels sad, you know?
All right, everyone, so I think that you guys are all going to have a lot of fun with this mini challenge. It's going to be very expressive, and it's going to begin shortly after the explanation. So you guys have 10 minutes for preparation. This will be timed, and this will all just start rolling right away. And you guys will have 30 minutes for your challenge. It'll be broken up into two 15-minute segments. So you guys are probably wondering what's on the table. Let's see. Ta-da! So we have, we are playing Artist Pong. No, I'm just kidding. So we have acrylics, we have inks, we have high flow acrylics, and so your guys' challenge today will be to create a painting only from flicking. So you will only be able to flick paint in this challenge. So we have a bunch of cups for you guys to put paint in. You guys will have 10 minutes to get your gloves on, get your cups ready. Every artist gets 10 cups, 10 colors. And so that is your limit. You can use any of the colors in here. You can mix water into your paint. You cannot use a brush for the first part. You may only use your hands to flick the paint. So for the first 15 minutes at a time, only hands. You can use your hands to move around the paint once it's on the paper, but as soon
So
as
the first 15 minutes is just splattering.
Yeah, is it flicking? Can you pour?
No pouring, thank you, sorry, yes. So you can only flick paint. You can't use the inks to draw with them. You can't use any brushes in the first 15 minutes. You can only flick the paint. You can drip the paint, but if you're pouring the paint, that does not count.
So like flick like with your hand?
Yes, so what you'll be doing is you'll have gloves on, you'll dip your hand into the cup, and you'll flick the paint with your hands. And you can also, you could like scoop the paint, drizzle the paint.
You can use your
Just can't touch the paper.
You can use your hands.
No, you can use your hands to touch the paper.
Okay.
You guys
Only
can
your
thank
hand.
Teacher for that, because I was going to be very strict and have no touching.
It's just Jackson Pollock style.
Yes, yeah, basically, yeah. And in the second part of the challenge, you guys will be able to use brushes and other tools to flick paint, but in the second part of the challenge, you cannot touch the paper anymore. So it is only dripping from above. And dripping flicking.
Wait, so the second
It's gonna be down on the floor then?
Yes, you guys will be doing on the floor, or you can do it on your easel if you want.
I'm down for on the floor. Just
on the floor or on the easel.
So the second half, you can't touch it.
No, you cannot touch it at all.
So, and we can't use like our inks above like this?
No, you can't.
Okay.
Cannot.
So you have to physically put inks in your hand and sort of like...
No, you only can have 10 colors. You put the 10 colors in the cups, and then those are your 10 colors for the whole challenge. So if you run out, then you can come back and mix more with water, or pour more.
Any water bottles?
Fluids in there. Water bottles.
Yeah, like can we put water on our paper before we begin, sort of thing?
Yes, you can put water on your paper before you begin.
Okay,
So water,
no.
No alcohol.
Okay, just water.
Okay, to make sure, we'd have a sprayed, we'd flicked, but we could use our fingers to move it.
In the first 15
in the
minutes.
first 15 minutes.
So what
After
exactly
that,
is
we'll be
the
taking
second?
gloves off, and you guys will not be able to use your hands anymore. Well, I mean, you could use your hands still, but I mean, you
Try
get to use
me.
other tools.
Oh, okay.
Would we have time to get the water? Like extra time for getting the water?
Extra time? No, the 10 minutes begins as soon as we're done. So just in summary for you guys will have 40 minutes total. 10 minutes will be for preparation. That's getting water, getting everything mixed. You will not be allowed to start your paintings until then. You can tape off your paper if you want. You can get all of your paint in your cups, get your 10 colors together. You'll only have 10 colors for this challenge. You guys can use acrylics, fluid acrylics, high flow acrylics, and inks. There will be no alcohol inks. There'll be no alcohol at all in this challenge. You can use spray bottles. You can use your hands for the first 15 minutes of the challenge. And in the second 15 minutes, you can use brushes. You can use any other material that you would like to flick the paint, but you may not touch the paper at all. In the first part of the challenge, you can use your hands to touch the paper, but that is it. You can only use your hands. There will be no other tools permitted. Also, you guys will not be allowed to use a source for this challenge, so nobody pull out their phones for any reason at all. Otherwise, I will believe that you are looking up a source. So,
Question. So you said we get 10 colors, 10 cups,
Yes.
all of that. Are we allowed to mix our colors together that we chose?
sure.
Cool.
And we don't have to use all 10 colors.
You don't? No.
Can we use our own fluid acrylics?
Yes. As long as it's the 10 colors. Like, you don't exceed the 10 colors.
Cool.
So you guys will be judged based off of how beautiful your abstract painting is. And beauty is subjective, so.
An abstract is non-objective, or
If you want, no, you can do an objective abstract, you can do a non-objective abstract, you just can't use a source, so.
Okay.
You'll have to paint out your head completely. All right, so your guys' challenge begins in 3, 2, 1, go. Who will choose to work upright and who will choose to work on the ground? I'm very curious. Do you go for a limited palette? Or do you go for a rainbow, a tasteful rainbow? Barbarita.
margarita. Yay.
If I can maintain my mini challenges and do really well on them and score high, then there'd be a really good chance that I could get back in. But it's all subject to change, because if Brie and Asia don't get eliminated, then I would most definitely get in.
Make sure you do not begin painting in this first 10 minutes. This is purely for preparation time.
Came out sideways, I'm so sorry. I don't think it did. It got on the back.
It's just really good that I'm wearing.
It's working out really great for you.
Really good.
You know, you can definitely feel the gravity of the competition is getting like for real, because we're gonna go from 2 of us being eliminated to pretty much a half split, because we started with 11 and now we're gonna be 5 and 6. So that's definitely gonna be really crazy.
Those are my
Make
10.
sure you
Sorry,
get your
counted them
water
already, sorry.
in these first 10 minutes. Otherwise,
just
you'll
put
eat
paint in.
into your time for the challenge, and you don't want to do that. You only have 30 minutes.
I expected at least a double elimination at some point, but I didn't expect it this soon, and I didn't expect 3 people.
3 minutes of preparation have elapsed.
For a collaboration, when there's so much that you can't control, it's just so scary. I think we all just did our best, you know, given the circumstances and stuff.
30 minutes, 30 points. 1 winner.
You're collaborating, yeah, listen, be open. But if you feel strongly about something, voice it. It might not go, but it might. So it's worth at least voicing.
Any sort of preparation you need to do, you want to get it done now.
It was really very heartwarming. It was very awesome to have 3 people come together and all 3 of us paint very differently. And yet we pulled it together.
Nothing may touch your paper except for tape at this moment.
I'm trying to decide.
No putting water down. Nothing like
You
that.
said we could use our own if we wanted.
You can use your own, but it still is only 10, regardless of whether you use your own or the community supplies.
We're awake now.
Awake.
One color I
For those of you joining Isaac, this challenge is more important than ever. And for those of you still in the main challenges, you never know when it will matter. So it always matters.
Question, is it okay if I use the back of a brush to mix paint? Or
Yes, yeah. It's all that matters is you cannot use your brushes or put anything down on the
paper.
Can I use that?
You cannot use anything but your hands to put the paint on the paper.
White. Cool.
I'm sorry, I'm perfectly fine, Isaac. What happened to the green? Somebody have...
Sometimes being an outstanding artist means using the colors that you have in front of you
Did
to make a
somebody
beautiful
take
painting.
sap green?
I don't.
No.
Thank you. I feel like this is gonna make me feel like a kid.
All right, Esther has the white. You guys have 2 minutes before the challenge begins. 1 minute left preparation.
Alcohol. I know, I need a water bottle. Do we have another water bottle?
We have the spray bottle we can all use.
I don't want to.
30 seconds.
Jake, are we able to use paper towels?
We can like do this in the first minute.
Yes, yeah, for the first 15 minutes, you can use your hand to move around paint. You drip paint, flick paint with your hand.
The paper towel to it?
No, the only thing that can touch the paper in the first 15 minutes is your hand, besides paint, of course, and water. The only tool, I should say. All right, your challenge begins in 3, 2, 1. You can start painting. 15 minutes to use your hands, no other tools.
So fun.
Once again, I will state how excited I am to be wearing a little white outfit today.
I need another glove, Jake.
You have my other hand.
Oh, that's floppy.
Make sure you don't use alcohol inks, everyone.
I'm not.
Asia has ditched doing it on the easel for the floor. What changed your mind?
I don't really know. I just figured when we can't use our hands, it would be better the other way. I don't know.
No more distractions from Jake.
Are we allowed to use paper towels to get off things?
No, not in this first part.
You're doing great.
In the second part, you can use any tools you'd like.
And that's my thing. I'm like, this one's gonna be interesting to see the like restraint going into certain.
Yeah.
You're going up against like really amazing artists, and like each time that like get like a new challenge, and they're super weird, and they're like meant to like challenge you as an artist, and every time that you complete that, like it's just super rewarding, and that self-confidence thing is super cool.
I've been practicing kind of working with smaller time constraints, but still having a good structure to what I'm doing.
You guys have 5 minutes left of using just hands.
Because I feel like earlier in the mini challenges, I felt myself, especially the ones with the shorter times, of just going right into it and just feeling like I need to throw paint somewhere and see where it leads.
Esther, as I said, you can only use your hands to put the inks in there. You can't use the ink bottle. So,
I didn't get this one, but you can just.
I would, it's just every other person got it. So, I'm sorry, you gotta start over. Yes, only with your hands, yeah.
I'm so messy.
You guys have 19 minutes left in this challenge.
19, 9.
Huh?
1 9.
1 9.
Some of these are turning out really cool.
I've heard this before, Jake. Somewhere.
Watch out, sorry.
And when do we switch tools?
I just didn't want your booty to get in it.
You have 3 minutes left of using just your hands.
Can I take my gloves off when we switch?
You can take your gloves off, yes.
Okay.
When you switch. And you can also take them off now if you don't want to use your gloves.
I can put it on my hand and put it.
You're supposed to have them all in the cups. And you're only using 10 colors, right?
Yeah, I just had one I didn't put in the. So can I like spray water into my cup?
No, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, I did that.
Okay, then yes.
I didn't know.
It's fine.
I think we all put water in the cup.
Okay, yeah.
Did that already.
I don't know. I'm just trying to mitigate anyone having an advantage over other people. So you can spray water into your cup.
Thank you. Let me know when we can start the brushes.
You guys have 2 minutes left of using just your hands. Esther, it looks like starting over was actually a blessing for you.
Here.
Are we only allotted 10 cups, or are we allowed to grab more?
10 colors, so you can have more than 10 cups.
Cool. I got a taint in my cup that had white in it. No problem. Anyone else almost like kind of amazed they're not covered in paint right now.
Yeah, honestly.
Okay, you can use other materials in 10, 9, 8, tools. 5, 4, 3, 2, and go.
But we're not allowed to touch it anymore.
You cannot touch your paper anymore.
We can't touch it with the brush either?
Nope, you can't touch it with the brush. You may not touch the paper at all whatsoever. Anyone who touches the paper will have to start over. You can still pour, you can still use your hands.
Are we allowed to pour directly from the cups now or no?
No, you may not pour directly from the cups. Sorry.
Cool.
And then,
Nope, just wanted to check.
yep, thank you.
No, it's my fault. This is making me kind of nervous about the big challenge. I'm like, oh no. Oh my head. It's okay. It's okay.
You guys have 12 and a half minutes remaining. Who's going to start implementing flicking into their paintings more often?
Me, I love it.
I already flick paint regularly.
That's pretty cool.
Well, I think actually paint flicking was one of the first classes I ever took with Milan.
Wow.
I think John taught it, and yeah.
That's super cool. There's many ways to go with your painting. You can get movement, you can go for color, you can go for all of it. Variety of scale. One thing's for sure, your paintings will be dynamic. They already are. The challenge is to not get your painting muddy. At what point do you stop? At what point do you say, that's enough? There is a point of diminishing returns. Some of you have reached that.
I think I've reached far past it, Jake.
It's just really fun to do all the challenges. And I do want to be able to keep doing them. And now I know that I'm like number 9 in mini challenge scores, so I don't think there's a chance for me to come back.
You guys have 10 minutes remaining. Who enjoys using their hands more than their brushes?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun experiment.
Well, you can still use your hands.
Yeah, I still am.
You just cannot touch the paper.
No touchy.
No touchy the paper.
No touchy, no movie.
No touching the paper.
Has anyone reached a stopping point?
I'm very close.
Multiple people.
I need to back away.
We have 7.5 minutes left before the 5th mini challenge is over.
Jake, can I move the paper? Like not touch it and do stuff with it?
Yeah, you can move it. That is a good question. You can tilt your paper if you want. You can put it vertical. Move it all around. You cannot touch it or move paint with your hands or any tools except for gravity. Looks like people are starting to look around check out each other's paintings.
Where's my white? There you are. Be a friend, share with pink.
Was that funny or what?
Go ahead, rip. Come on, be responsible.
We both just looked at it like,
Oh my God, brain, help me out. I love how that blended together too. It gives me like a landscape feeling. Sunflowers.
3.5 minutes remaining. Time to get that final movement, the final drips. You want to make sure that you get all of the values on there, from the darkest darks to the brightest bright.
Do I have value? Probably not.
There is objective value and subjective value. You guys have 2 minutes remaining.
Uh-oh, no. You stop moving.
I went very Pollock.
Me too. We went Pollock over here.
Yeah. We took inspiration and ran with it, Sawyer.
True that.
You know, we did it right.
Barb, that's so pretty.
Thanks.
Oh, I think yours is my favorite.
The what is?
Yours is my favorite, I think.
Oh, thank you. It's awful wet and things started dripping.
And I love your finger marks on it. It's like really...
Embrace
it makes
the
me
tool.
feel, yeah, I don't know. I like it.
You guys have 1 minute left.
Muddy that.
Boom, boom, boom. That's like skillful. It's really good. Thank you. I just put Pollock on them, so I don't know.
Pollock. Movement, all right.
15 seconds.
15 seconds, no!
Sorry.
It's okay.
5, 4, 3, 2. Hands down, brushes down. Tools down, no dripping. No more flicking, no more sipping. No more licking paint.
But spitting is the best technique.
All right, how does everyone feel?
Pretty good.
I needed a few more tools.
Like red crackle.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Oh, like a jawbreaker. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just like completely not do the best I can. Like I don't know how to do that in general, but that's all I really can do. Just do the best I can. I loved the mini challenge. I want to do that again. That was so fun.
Yeah, this one's really cool. I mean, they're both really cool, but this one has a lot of like muddy, dark areas.
I don't know, I guess I didn't realize that I would be halfway through this and like now there's only 6 of us and tomorrow there's only 5 of us, and so it's like crazy. Like it's just going really, really fast.
I really love what's happening right there and right there, but it is kind of dark and muddy, so.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, to me, that's a good underpainting.
Yeah, this
but
one
this
is pretty
has
cool.
a little more where it can stand on its own.
It felt really good to actually have that, you know, be limited to just using your hands in the beginning. I feel like I could probably have done a little more with that.
This one's pretty cool. It kind of looks like an aerial view of like, you know, some sort of land water thing.
I think I got into my zone, so I was like just thinking like we couldn't use tools, but I was still like dripping, so I didn't realize it was not allowed. I was like in my right brain already, probably in some land far away.
Esther, as I said, you can only use your hands to put the inks in there. You can't use the ink bottle. I'm sorry, you gotta start over.
And then I'm like, well, there's still 5 minutes left for another piece. So like I got to do 2. I always do, like I love doing more than everyone else.
I just am not crazy about this muddy orangey, like the orange and blue she chose. It's not my favorite color, blue and orange combination.
Yeah, especially with that bright pink.
Yeah.
I would have either gone earthy or bright. Yeah.
You have to know this story, okay? Like when I was in the Sunday school, when I was really little, like we would do different assignments and one of them was drawing. So like for each Bible story they will tell us, like we'll need to make a drawing. So, and if you make a drawing, you got a gold star. And they put a gold star sticker on your drawing. So one time for Easter, I was like, what if I make 10 instead of 1?
Ooh, I love this one.
Yeah, I really like how it's a face and you just kind of arrive at it. I wish I could see it dry, because, you know.
Parts of it are slightly muddy, but it also, like all over it has the earth tone feeling, so I like this one a lot.
Yeah, and it could stand on its own as a painting.
Mini challenges, you just don't know what it's going to be. If it's something you've ever done before, there's a lot of talent. So I need to really kick up the game.
I like this one. I think it's pretty cool. I love all the splashy marks.
And that's what the focus is right now, is just doing my best in those mini challenges, because, you know, making it back and having that chance one more time to like really prove myself and really put my art out there in front of the judges would just be, I mean, that's kind of everything right now.
He definitely got into flicking paint.
Yeah.
I like this color right here in this area.
You know, obviously everybody coming into this, I feel like, wants to make it to that finale spot, and I mean, you know, $25,000 isn't anything to just like laugh at or not really want to win.
I think this one's pretty cool.
Many challenges are hard because sometimes I like bomb them and then other times I win them and I'm like, I don't understand the secret formula here.
I just think, like, I wish there was like a little bit more bright colors, like if there's different shades of red or orange. There's some like little bright spots of warm color.
I think it got muddy in parts for sure, but I think she made good use of like negative white versus positive white.
Yeah, I love all the white she added. That helped.
It was a bit too messy for me, but it was fun to feel like a child again and just not care and paint with your fingers and get paint everywhere. I enjoyed that part of it, but as far as oil painting and like fine art goes, I would probably not enjoy doing that.
This is very Roxanne. It's her color palette she likes.
Do I have experience flicking paint? No. I am pretty much a realism kind of artist, and I don't do a lot of abstract, and so that was pretty stretching of just flicking paint.
I think it needs a little bit more contrast, probably.
Yeah, but it's pretty good.
It was pretty entertaining, but it was also kind of fun, kind of kid-like.
This is Asia's? I'm not crazy about it.
I'm not either.
Recently, I've been just trying to, you know, meet the marks for those challenges, but I've actually felt like I've lost myself in them. And looking back at the work that I've done for the past 4 episodes, I really didn't feel like I could see myself in them at all.
I think she was trying to do some flowers, and it just kind of nailed it a little bit with the muddy white. I think the white made it, you know, muddy, barfy.
Yeah, it's just the pink and the red. It didn't really.
Yeah,
like
where
my
it's
favorite
stronger
part,
down here, it works.
Yeah.
Like down in there, that looks good, but all the other parts, it's like.
It's so important for me to be true to myself, and I just felt sad about that. I'm gonna do my best to let myself show as much as possible in my work while still trying to be strategic. I don't want to look at my art again in this competition and not know who painted it.
Christina, I like that one.
Yeah, I like it too. It's pretty cool. The aqua colors, and it's very clean.
And my comeback strategy is just going to be to truly just try to have as much fun as possible for the mini challenges.
It has a nice movement to it.
Yeah, probably one of my favorites.
Sure, that would be, if that happened, that would be like major underdog redemption.
It's Andrea.
I like this one a lot. It feels like a landscape or something. It feels like a real painting, you know, like it could actually be a painting.
Very cool.
I took all the advice that I learned in the mastery program with abstracts, and I really just remembered and really tried to incorporate all of those elements into an abstract, because I've never really been, for me personally, I don't feel like I've ever been good at abstracts. So I was just really trying to focus and remember all those little details and everything that goes into an abstract painting. And a good color story, I think, is also very important.
Mm-hmm. She has a lot of good contrast, bright colors, kind of neutral.
A lot of techniques mixed together, you know? Like it's not just sort of one thing, you know?
Yeah, like you're trying to figure out how did she do it.
I think this is probably my favorite.
I'm very determined to stay where I am at, or at least top 3. And I think I have a really, really good chance of getting back in at the end of the competition. So I'm going to do it, so watch out.
The results are in, everyone, and I'll just say everyone scored above a 15, so you guys all did great. And you know, it's hard to judge these sometimes because you guys all do really well, but there were a few that clearly stood out from the rest in terms of their excellence. So, in first place for this challenge with 26.5 points, we have Andrea.
It's very emotional day.
She got eliminated and won number 1.
Yeah.
All the same day.
Thank you.
That's just how it be.
Take a minute.
Okay, in second place with 25.5 points, we have Christina.
Yeah.
It better be me so we can all keep our team.
In third place with 25 points out of 30, we have Barb.
We're still the silent winner.
And I just want to say this is completely coincidental. This is not at all a reflection of the last main challenge. So you guys all really deserved the top 3 scores. You guys did great. So in fourth place with 23 points, we have Alana. Oh, we have 3 ties.
Oh, wow.
So in fifth place with 3 tie scores with a tied score of 20.5, we have Roxanne, Sawyer, and Isaac.
Wow.
Just below those 3 with a score of 19.5, we have Esther.
Good job, Esther.
And tied for last place.
With a score of 17.5, we have Bree.
Good job, Bree.
And in last place for this challenge, besides Michael, we have Asia with 16.5.
Good job.
And due to a no-show, Michael has received a 0.
Oh.
So.
First off, I forgot my wallet here. The flight got canceled because of landing gear problems. Yeah, so slept in the airport last night. That was exhausting. And yeah, now I'm here.
everyone. So the theme for this episode, episode 5, is bring the far things near. So what we want you guys to do in this challenge is to create something completely out of your head. No source, no preparation whatsoever. You guys will have 4 hours to complete your challenge, and your challenge begins as soon as we are done with this explanation. And you will also not be allowed to use your phones to look up a source at all. You guys will be painting on a 24-inch square. You guys will have to cut the canvas yourselves. That will not be a part of the time. You guys will have time to do that right after this. And so here to help you guys with, sort of the thought process behind bringing the far things near and give you some context on it is Ellie.
Okay, so we've talked about this a lot in art club, in the mastery program, about there's this writer, literature, Southern writer, Flannery O'Connor, who actually came up with the phrase, bringing the far things near. And it really has a lot to do with that right brain and that creative process. And as you know, when you kind of tap into your right brain and you are, you disappear into la la land creating, you are literally bringing something on the canvas that has not ever existed before. And now it's tangible and for everybody to see and perceive. And it's a really magical process. It's something, and all creative people really think about this and ponder these things. And she came up with those words to kind of describe it. And I think it really sort of speaks about it very powerfully. So my recommendation as you're doing this is something I personally had to really grow in. I am a recovering control freak, and I love having sources, everything planny, knowing exactly what the outcome's gonna be. It used to make me feel extremely unraveled and upset to not know where I'm going in a painting. That used to, really be difficult for me. So I've worked at what it's like to be in the moment. And I think that's a real key, is you have to be in the moment. You have to shut down that critic, that voice that will speak to you and say, this is looking dumb. Everybody else can do this. You can't do this without a source. There's all these doubts that are gonna come at you, and you cannot entertain them. You cannot even allow them to speak. You absolutely have to shut it down. You have to be in your right brain. There's really no other way to get through this successfully. If your left brain derails you and starts to make a good painting as you're doing it, your painting is going to be bad. Okay, it will be bad. So you can do abstracts, you can do imagery, you can do things that feel like, right? It can be any subject matter.
Yeah, they just can't look at a source.
You just can't look at a source. So it doesn't have to be non-objective abstract, it can be anything. And how I have successfully pulled these off is I go into my right brain and I let the painting tell me what it wants to be as I'm doing each step. And I don't worry about 5 steps ahead, I don't worry about 10 steps ahead. I stay in the moment and I only think about what I'm doing in that moment. And while I'm watching the paint go on there and I'm making choices in the moment about what to do, then the next move sort of appears for me. So it's like walking blind and you only see the first step in front of you, but you don't really see where you're going and you don't see where you're going to end up. And so it's terrifying and freeing all at the same time. And at the end, you should have something that looks like a completed painting, something that somebody's going to want to live with and have on their wall, right? It should be sellable. And what I recommend too is to be lost in your right brain creating. Then whether you have to put a timer or whatever, stop every 30 minutes, every 45 minutes, ever so often, stand really far back from it, and then you slip into your left brain, and you're gonna make good decisions, and you're gonna evaluate, it's almost like you have to have 2 personalities doing this. So from your left brain, then you're like, all right, I gotta do this, I need to pull the color, I need to push the depth, that feels like it wants to be a figure, or an animal, or a landscape, or whatever you're seeing there. And so then you'll go back in with those intentions. Then you'll kind of get lost for a while, then come back and evaluate. So that's kind of how I would go about doing it. If you have experience with this and you have your own tricks, then just do that. But if you are sort of on the controlling side and this is really hard and unnerving, then just try to do what I was saying. Just stay in the moment, and all you have to do is know your next move. You don't be too far in the future. And don't be in the past. Don't be listening to like, you never paint like this. You can't do this. You know, none of that. That'll really mess you up.
Any questions?
And they can't listen to music, huh?
No music at all this challenge.
Wow, that was really hard.
You are bringing the far things near.
Do you guys have any questions? Or?
Pretty straightforward.
Materials.
Anything.
Sweet.
Yeah, in order to bring the far things near, you gotta have a full arsenal of materials.
And another recommendation, because I see somebody's wheels moving, don't go off of some sort of past success of okay, I'm gonna replicate this painting I did before, because that will not, that's like, I don't think that's the point of what this challenge is, and I think that it's gonna come across as contrived, and you know, it's sort of like a chicken way to go about doing it. You know what I mean? It's kind of a wimpy chicken way. It's sure, it sounds strategic, but I wouldn't just go off of like, all right, I know I can pull this off. I've done it before. I'll just do that again. You know? So I wouldn't do that. I would really try to be genuine in the moment and just trust, just really trust. And I think if you guys all do that, at the end of this, it'll be like the last challenge where we need mathematicians to figure out who won. You know, if everybody is really truly in the right brain and not like conniving anything.
All right, everyone, are you ready? Your challenge begins in 3, 2, 1, go.
Today I did not do a good job on my mini challenge, and I was pretty comfortable being second for a minute. And then now I got bumped down a few spots, and so, you know, I'm starting to get a little nervous again.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna like probably like completely screwed up, because it's like I do paint from a source. Like I'm a control freak in many ways.
I found that a relief, because I kind of like working from my mind. I like having that sort of the surprise elements throughout creating and starting a piece.
Roxanne, is this a tube opener? Yeah. Can I use that? Absolutely. Thank you. I've never seen one of these, but it's such a good idea.
At any moment you could cry because you're just like either sad or happy for yourself or for others. It's like rewarding because you're still in it, and then sad because other people that are also awesome aren't in it, and so you're just really torn.
I think the element of trying new things and looking around at other people, when you're at home and you're in your own studio and you're like, oh, I'll flick some paint, and you go like that, and you're like, But when you're with a group of people and they've got different techniques and different visions for where they're going, you can't help but get energized, but it also gives you, oh, that's what I could do with that. And I could really make something look like something. So that part of the challenge was awesome.
I sent SOS like earlier this morning. Couldn't get coffee on the way down.
I
enjoyed doing the mini challenge. I didn't win, I didn't really place in it today, but I actually really enjoyed it, and I felt like my piece resembled a really extreme abstract art, and I enjoyed doing it. Into the competition, I had a feeling that I would be pushed to my limits and would have to like work outside my own box and do things that I wasn't necessarily comfortable doing. This challenge I definitely felt more comfortable with because I was trying to let my own style show through.
You guys have 1 hour left of part 1. You guys have 36 minutes left of the first part of the challenge.
And then we have 2 more hours.
Yes. All right, everyone, you have 15 minutes remaining of part 1 of this main challenge. Who's having fun with abstracts?
So hard without music. It's probably the hardest thing about this whole competition.
A little bit like, I don't know, rainbow explosion. It's really pretty, Roxanne.
This could be anyone's game, anyone's time to go, anyone's time to stay. Anyone could win it. Anyone could lose it.
Gotta be in it to win it.
The question is, who wants it the most? Who wants it more than anyone else? You guys have 5 minutes left.
I'm excited about the $25,000, but it would be more exciting for me just to win. I've been working towards something, and I don't even know what it is that I'm working towards, but it would feel like I would get recognition for that and a great accomplishment. But the $25,000 is a nice plus to that.
I think that it would be confidence that, yeah, I am, and I can do most anything. I just survived the challenges that were thrown at me, and I think it would be pretty amazing, and I think it would mean a lot.
Who's in it to win it?
Me.
2 minutes left of part 1 of the main challenge. What's going through your mind, Sawyer?
I really like my piece. I just don't want to rework it.
$50 seconds left.
It is kind of getting more real, and it's definitely like, wow, like you think this is serious. I'm honestly trying not to think about the money because I feel like then it just gets in your head more.
30 seconds.
Actually, I haven't even really entertained the idea about if I won. I don't know, I guess I'm still just trying to get through each challenge.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brush is down. Ready for a critique?
Not yet. Oh, we get a critique?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be awesome.
I didn't realize, I didn't put it together that being in the show requires work. Honestly, I mean, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna see everyone and work on, we're gonna do some fun painting on the property and it's being filmed. And then when I arrived, I just realized that it's gonna be challenging.
Well, I like how you did the X and leaving, thin spots, thicker spots. I think, standing back from it, it's lacking a focal point. This could be a focal point, but it's just not standing out enough. And I think this black, something needs to carry through because this feels just a little bit out of place, I think.
I think it's a really good start or halfway point or whatever you want to call it. And now it's time for you to really figure out what this painting wants to be. And if you're going for abstract, which is fine, I think you're going to have to push value a little bit more. Darker darks, lighter lights, definitely highlights. I think you need to decide on a color story. So far, your color story has been dictated by the colors of spray paint, and which is fine. But now in glazing or moving into oil or whatever you're going to do to finish this, I think you have to decide on a color story. I don't personally think that pink and blue is a good color story. So I think you could do gray and pink as a color story. And these grays to me are really rich and beautiful, and you could do that, or your pink could become more
well, you could keep the pink and gray and the green because there's a lot of green, and just turn the blues more green or teal.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be the easiest.
That could work. And some of your pinks might want to go a little more towards salmon, so you have variety. Anyway, what you don't want is for somebody to go, oh, those are spray paint colors, So that's what it feels like right now. So decide on a color story. I think you're pretty good with color and color story anyway. So just pick one and go with it. And then I think that you want to push contrast. So, atmospheric, sort of misty parts, graphic parts, contrast in, you know, line, like all the elements that you're introducing, think contrast. You know, if you have geometric shapes, which you do with the harlequin and the stripes and the X, you know, then also push some organic things like this. This is great. And accentuate those. And I think value is something that definitely needs to be pushed. You need, you know, some creamy whites or lighter parts. This sort of curly Q thing, I know you don't plan on leaving that there, but
No,
yeah.
It was because I didn't like what was underneath, so I just...
Yeah. So that obviously needs to be dealt with. I think you want to play, like when you decide to keep something, like let's say you keep the X, like play with that idea a little bit. Maybe there should be another X near it or over it that's like less correct, that's more like drawn and organic or something. So it's not just like, oh, she put tape there and she spray painted it and so now we have an X. It's like finesse it, do something with it, tell a story with it, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so value, color, story.
Variety.
Contrast, yeah.
Just push the boundaries.
Push the boundaries, yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's a good start.
Okay.
I think this is really cool. I really love all the brush strokes you have, like stacked up. And I would say just like push that idea more, make it like even more than that. Like have some bigger like ones in front that are maybe brighter. But you have like all these interesting like similar round shapes, so it's like a theme throughout it. So I would just like, I'm sure that's what you're probably planning to do, but yeah, I really like the direction that you're going.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really good start. I would watch the color getting too muddy. There's parts of it where it feels kind of dingy or muddy. And I love what's going on with the, let's say, crowd of people or whatever that is. The stacking of brushstrokes, I would push the envelope with that, but keep it clean, keep it clear. Don't get it muddy. And maybe think of kind of like what I was saying to Brie about her X, like finesse it a little bit. Like, does it fade back? And then there's some that are really close. Is there a color story that moves throughout it? Is it like
it could be like movement of those brush strokes.
Yeah, you could play with the movement of the waves and the line work that's in there. So I would try to finesse that into something more intentional, but don't beat us over the head with it. Does that make any sense?
I think we're saying
like, in other words, like, okay, hypothetically, this is just hypothetically, like, it's gonna feel like a crowd of people, you know? So you could kind of pull it a little more intentionally that direction, but don't sit there and put baseball caps on people. You know, or make it look like the Weebleys.
I like it abstract. I wouldn't think about people. Like, I think you could interpret that, but don't, like, I would
keep it abstract.
Just do the exact same thing you're doing and then just push it further. Like, have even more of that happening. So it's like we really think about it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a crowd of people. It could be like something that feels like frequency or feels like movement or feels like, I don't know. Like even just giving it form, like you could reach back and touch one of them or pull one of them or... It's clearly the subject. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
I think this is really cool. It makes me feel like it's something, but I can't quite put my finger on it, which is a really good thing.
Yeah, I think of radishes, beets, a garden, also hot air balloons, like all different things. Yeah. And I really like those shapes.
Yeah, and it has this like, this feeling of like floating and landscape floating.
Super interesting.
What are those things you blow wishes? Dandelions, but in a really abstract way. So it has a point of direction. That's kind of what I was saying now with yours, Alana, is like yours almost has this where you want it abstract, where you don't like go, oh, those are clearly dandelions, right? But this is slightly a couple degrees more intentional than yours as a subject matter. Okay, so. But what I would like is as you keep going, you know, just knowing your tendencies, like be careful about too much color all over the place and no color story.
Right now it has a good color story, I think. It's like purple and gold. So I would just keep pushing that.
Is it the point to go with oils?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and then just, I don't know, just be careful things don't get too busy. You know, like it's good to have all these busy parts, but then things that kind of also fade and help us relax as well. So I would just keep doing what you're doing. You're going in a great direction. There's parts of it I really, really love. I think this needs some resolution. It looks like a muddy mountain or so. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure you'll resolve it or figure it out. And don't let the color story go too far into like red and green. Like if you settle on yellow and gold, then settle on yellow and gold. But then watch out about introducing too many other colors, you know? And then don't get it too busy.
Is it busy now?
It's busy in a good way, but any more busy, I think it'll be too busy.
Yeah, I think in the background, once you solve that black thing, then it will.
You can keep most of your children, but don't add more children. Or you will have to kill them.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Sawyer, I think this is a really cool idea and it's really unique. It's like clearly a forest, but it also feels like really whimsical. I love the gold and the colors you're choosing. The only thing is probably with oils you'll do this, but it needs like depth. Right now it's like all in the same plain field kind of, and also scale, like things are kind of all the same size. So like I think this could be a good focal point. Seems like you're starting to make that a focal point. Or I just saw, this looks like a big tree right here. So like this could be a huge tree in front, and then, I don't know, like I would just play with size and like having more depth and maybe like a spot of light, like a lot of highlights in the background with cools.
Thank you.
That was super good advice. I don't know, I think I can't really add to it other than I think your color story is pretty interesting. It's kind of like a rainbow against black.
Very cool.
I think that works.
Yeah, especially with all the metallic.
So I agree with Dimitra. Just as you switch to oil, decide what branches are closer to us. They can't all be the same, or it'll feel decorative.
Okay.
So depth is going to be your key to getting this looking like a cool painting with a great idea, also sophisticated.
Okay, thank you.
I like where you're going with this, and I'm sure when you get to oils, like it'll just be beautified, but I like how you're adding like different flowers on top of spray paint flowers, so you have like a lot of different variety, and I would just like really bring out the details and leave some of it abstract, but have some like, super strong details. And then with the bird, it's cute, and I don't know if you should add more, like because it just feels weird there's just one, and I see like, I mean it kind of matches this feathering thing. So I don't know, I would just like either it needs like a whole lot more added to it, like really exaggerate it and have, I don't know if I'm making sense. Like you have to like, if you're gonna go with that idea, like make it really whimsical and have like really long feathers that are like going off, or have the flowers turn into the bird or something. Like make it more connected.
Yeah, I would definitely push the envelope and make it more whimsical. And then I would also watch your color, like if you shift into oil, just be careful it doesn't get muddy and kind of washed out. It almost feels like everything needs to be amplified. The color needs to be amplified. It needs to be deepened. The highlights need to be amplified. A lot of the white just looks like right out of the tube white and not like mixed white, or like there's a lot of color to it, and it seems thin, and I don't know, which is creating depth here, but then when they do come close, they're not that like strong and juicy. So I would just amplify the color. It's like you have a very good foundation and a really good like cool thing that's happening with the whimsical, but I think don't play it safe. Like you got to really push the envelope and do it well, and then watch for things like this. This feels like stab and dab stuff. And so I would watch that and make things more definite, be more sure of yourself, plant a brushstroke, let it be there, thicker brushstrokes, juicier. It feels tentative. It feels, which I understand if you're like, oh, I don't know, kind of unsure.
Like, have I ever done abstracts before?
Out of your head? Yeah, I know.
My head?
It's hard.
Yeah, but
push it. Keep going.
Yeah, be more confident.
It's a good direction.
In what you're doing.
Yeah,
it's a good direction, and it's I think you're on a great track. Just what's going to bring it home and make it like a really good piece, where you're not going to lose this competition, is if you don't play it safe and you're definite. Okay, but if you're kind of like careful,
okay. I would just listen to your gut. If you want to do something crazy, just do it.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
I think the color story is excellent. I love a lot of the intuitive, just free, I know you were saying that you felt like you couldn't get in your right brain, but it feels really free. It feels like, it makes me feel good looking at it, like nobody's struggling here. But with that, it has to go somewhere toward, to a finished painting. And so I would push the envelope a little bit more and kind of what I was saying to Bree, like more contrast. Like if this area, let's say, becomes like super expressive, like really stack up those brush strokes, really have it on there, and then next to it can be like soft and glazy and disappear. So pushing those differentials, I think, is going to help, and being a little more like definite when you do something like that. I would go somewhere with this. Like it's not.
Make it more rainbow?
I don't know. Like make a decision and be definite with it. It's a little too, or get rid of it,
Yeah.
Atlanta's is further along than that, but it's sort of in the same boat as Atlanta's, where it's like, I need to connect to it somehow.
I think it just needs like crisp, definite, like some, I think it'll just happen naturally when you go to oils. Like I think you'll know how to finish this, but I would just push the variety of of line and color too. But you have like so many different like layers and scratches and like all kinds of stuff happening. I would just keep doing more of that, and maybe make some of these reds like really juicy and pop forward. And maybe like, since these are kind of like loose circles, like maybe have like some tighter, like more like thin lines of circles.
Yeah. Really similar advice to Breathe. Like you gotta just kind of push contrast more, so things are more definite and more variety within.
I think oils will help.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think you guys all are doing well.
Yeah,
really.
These are all really cool.
They all have a direction. They all I would know how to finish each and every one of these. It's hard sometimes to do these critiques when you come in and you're like, I don't know, this could go in like 100 different directions and I don't know what to do with it, and none of them have that, so that's good.
Yeah, they seem like solved.
Yeah, they all seem solved, but they just need beautifying and finishing and,
Good job. I can't wait to see the finished pieces.
You guys have 2 hours left to finish your paintings. Now that Ellie and Dieter have given you guys some critique, hopefully that helps you. Hope you guys have fun and create something amazing. So you guys are all really close in this challenge, and all your paintings look really wonderful so far. So let's see who pulls ahead in the next 2 hours. Your challenge begins in 3, 2, 1, go.
I know for sure if I had $25,000 that I could use on my business, I would be investing into the business, like getting like a big printer and all the materials that I need to produce like prints and stuff like that in-house. That would be my first thing.
Since I changed my attitude and I just like switch focus for myself and being center of attention, which I love to be, it's got a little bit easier. So I just like had to take it a little bit more serious and like first of all for myself and overall.
My vision, my dream would be to have a huge studio that artists would rent space from and work, and it would be that synergy of the group and being able to say to someone, hey, do you think this color looks okay, or what am I missing here? And just having that interaction with other artists is what I love.
You guys have 1 hour and 3 minutes left.
If I had $25,000, I would definitely incorporate it into growing my business. A new studio and probably ads and promotion and things like that.
There's so many things that you could do with $25,000. Like you could do like a studio makeover, plus, you know, traveling, plus an RV and do art and do pop-up art shows. The RV thing is a big dream of mine and a goal, whether I win or not.
I desperately need my website revamped and like marketing stuff to really get me going, because like I'm not naturally good at the promotion and marketing for my work, so I would definitely invest in professionals to help me with that, to get more of my work seen and out there.
You guys only have 34 minutes left.
We have time.
Time? You guys have 20 minutes left.
Thank you.
Last 20 minutes, is that what you said, Jake?
20 minutes remaining.
Are they cool? Warms. They're warm. I'm gonna take that warm pink you have. Is that opera pink?
This is your time to get your final details in. Make those last bold moves. You don't want to do something too big in the last 5 minutes. So if you're going to do something, make your move now. This is the 5th episode, the 5th challenge you guys have done. You guys have worked so hard to get here. Every single one of you deserves the spot that you have. And yet still one of you will be eliminated after this challenge. No pressure. Just doing my job.
Every
Sorry.
time. Every time. Okay, Jake.
Wow, what you just did was good.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. No, with the X, like emphasizing, looks good.
I've thought about doing silver on these X's.
Silver?
But I don't know. Because then I would tie here, but then I'm like, maybe it should just stay.
On which X's? Oh, the little X's. Maybe some of them. Maybe don't do all of them.
Maybe just like a few of them?
Just a few of them.
Okay. I like that. I like that. I like the sound of it.
Are you done, Asia?
Yes.
Don't want to overwork it.
Yeah. I think like the more I do, it'll just...
It looks really good. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
Like a little rainbow portal. These all look really good. Honestly, I'm very impressed, guys. You guys are painting completely out of your head, and that is not easy. All right, you guys have 4 minutes left.
Looks good.
The one thing I would say is maybe in this final few minutes, just variety of orange. Because you have kind of the same orange in the trees. With your clouds, it's kind of just the same white. Maybe some darks into the clouds. Not too much, just a few. Did you and Asia look at the same portal?
Too crazy.
No, it's super cool. I don't know. I don't really have anything for you.
Walkie talkie.
That sticks out.
Do you like this orange? Do you like this dark orange?
Yeah. Maybe some bright oranges. I'm sorry. I mean, do what you want. I should have specified. I thought bright orange would look good.
Okay. You did the opposite. I'm trying to eat my little cinnamon roll.
Actually, no, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I shouldn't joke.
Really blue.
Well, you guys can, be happy in that in the next challenge, we're gonna let you guys all have your own easel. So everybody gets their own easel. So if you make it to the next challenge, that is a reward. Sorry, what?
I like having a friend next to me.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, you'll still have someone next to you. They just won't be right next to you. Yeah, you guys have less than 2 minutes. Oh, sorry, less than a minute.
Ah.
20 seconds. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and brushes down. Step back, take a deep breath. Enjoy the hard work that you guys put in. You guys should all be really proud of yourselves. All right, good job, everyone. You guys will find out tomorrow afternoon who is eliminated and who has won the challenge. So, yeah, it's very hard. It's going to be very difficult for the judges. I think you guys all earned your spot here, and it's sad, but someone has to be eliminated.
When I first heard it, I'm like, oh my goodness, like, just not abstract and not from your mind. Like, it's just not things I feel like it's my strong suit. It's not my strong suit.
Or your strength.
It's not my strength.
That's what's so cool about this competition is that there's so many different styles and just so many unique artists here with their own voice. And what's the point of, me being here if my work doesn't reflect me?
Ellie's directive was to not try to plan it out in your brain and think about what you were going to do, and don't revert back to something that you've done in your past. I just started spray painting, and I kind of was chuckling to myself because she said, just paint whatever's on your mind. And I thought, given what's happened to me this week, it could be an all black painting.
Usually in my own studio, I can walk away from it and let it be and come back. But I knew I had to solve some of the problems on the fly and just sort of get through that process faster rather than like being able to leave it until the next day and come back and see something new in it. I had to figure that out straight away.
But see, that gets emotional. I said I wouldn't cry. To win would just like, it's not even like, it's not the people like that are here, like, because either way you win and you get to like have this really great experience, but it's just like having that self-confidence and like knowing that like, just knowing that you're good enough, knowing that like people like your stuff, because it's not something that you always get to hear, and like there's negative comments out there all the time.
Well, I think she took our advice.
You think she took our advice?
She did. Look at the X's and the variety, and she added lots of organic things. I think I would like to see more highlights on this. Like, that's a highlight, but other than that, and this one kind of, but I think it needs some more highlights. So, like probably if some light came like this way, up here.
Yeah, I feel like Bree played it super safe. I feel like she used her same old go-to spray paint, some stencils, the same old spray paint, the same old tricks, an X. She's done that many times before, and then, resolved it, I guess. But it doesn't have like that, like she really stretched herself and went on the edge and really was in that full-on right brain, taking some risks, and some of the others I see that they did that. So I feel like playing it safe and doing something familiar and you feel in control of isn't going to pay off for her in the end. It's not a bad painting by any means. I think she resolved it. She did listen to us. I would have liked to have seen more, like maybe creamy white, throughout here, like breaking in and making like some, like a really definite like hot spot. But it's just kind of safe, and I don't think she stretched herself.
It was super difficult because I kept trying to like, okay, now I'm at the point, like I'll put in my source now. And it's like, we don't have a source, so what am I supposed to do now? Like, am I looking for a subject? Do I not want to do a subject? Like, do I put something in, but then it looks contrived? So it was like a lot of kind of run around in my head a little bit once I got to like that like midway point where I'm like, what am I supposed to do now?
Well, I feel like Alana actually, like she did really push the envelope, and this is a super cool painting.
Very cool.
There's a lot of movement.
Really sellable.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know what to pick apart, on this painting. It's just, I would say it's done.
Yeah, I think she did a really good job. I love how, it didn't occur to me before of how like her little loops or her dots, her crowd of people or whatever I was calling them, turned into these really big mounds in the front.
I like that,
Yeah, it's really poetic. There's a lot of like associations in there. And I think like in terms of line, I think that's something she's even picked up in this competition, where she's pushing herself every painting to create line. That was her element that she had in the all-nighter, and she really did push it. And I can see some.
It's translated.
Yeah, it's translating into this one, and it's made a really good abstract.
Yeah.
And
it's a really unique color palette too, and like color combinations.
Great
you wouldn't
composition.
think purple and red go together, but somehow she made it work.
Yeah, really good.
I think I've started to see that my style coming out more as a consistent thing. Like I still haven't fully realized my voice because I'm still working through that in the mastery program, but I feel like I'm starting to really hone in on that and trusting like my instincts. And I am trying to push myself by like, I know I tried to bring a different color into this palette that I don't normally use. I tried to bring like a really bright yellow into the mix with my other colors and then try to work the blue in with the really bright red and pinks. But I was trying to create something different with the abstract being like also part of the theme. Like it's an abstract, but it's coming, like the far things are coming near. Like I was trying to merge that into the theme.
This one might be one of my top three. I'm having a hard time choosing a favorite, but this one is really good. Like I just love how they feel like it's like a garden vegetable something.
Yeah,
like
it's
completely imaginative and
it's
like,
so whimsical and creative.
unique.
And no offense to Esther, but I see like in a lot of her work that she does on her own is kind of derivative of other artists. Like I can almost see what artist she's emulating. And to me, this is pure Esther. This is she's not emulating anything. She's not, at least that I know of, it looks very like her true voice, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of this quirky, moody, quirky person, whimsical, yeah, and that's Esther. It's my favorite. I love the kind of, you know, the sun peeking over the mountains with this like
she completely
watermelon floating object garden vine. I don't know. It's really cool. I think it's super sophisticated.
I'm really glad she added like one more, because before she added that, I was thinking, well, something feels a little bit unbalanced because there's 3 and then 1. So now there's 5 and it's a good odd number. So
yeah.
I'm like, okay, like wherever, like when Ellie like shared of like how you can start and like you shouldn't like plan and like remember your past successes and all of that, but just trying to be free and in the moment. I'm like, okay, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. It's like sounds easy. Sounds like it will help a lot. And it did, because when I started painting, I just like got an idea, and then I found the stencils and other things, and I got like just weird compositions and just like appealed on the canvas. And like from that moment on, just like knew like exactly all of the steps and like what it's gonna be, like what it's want to be, like what I'm gonna do with it, like how to work in layers. So I got this like blueprint for the whole painting in the first 20 minutes when I just like let go and experimented. So it felt like actually like one of the easiest challenges like I done.
this is a very interesting painting. I really like it. I do wish like she had more depth in there. Like the highlights, I mean, that definitely helps, but I wish like something was more simplified or like misty.
Yeah, I think
a little bit busy.
I think it's the edges. Like all those trees and roots in the front feel like they're on the same level. And so nothing got kind of blurry or knocked back or in different levels. So either she tried to do it or she, and just didn't, or she didn't understand what we were saying. But yeah, I feel like the depth is not there. But it's a super cool painting. I think it's very unique. I think as far as uniqueness goes, these two are top of the list. It would be more sophisticated looking if it had more depth. It would be more fine art looking and less decorative.
Mm-hmm. It was really fun to kind of be able to have a lot of freedom. I feel like this challenge, we had a lot of freedom. We had so much freedom that we didn't even have a source. So really just creating on the spot felt very freeing to me. I've actually don't paint that way all of the time. And when I do abstracts, I sometimes will like look at something to draw inspiration from. Like, for example, one time I looked at this really colorful shrimp and then did a whole abstract piece based off of an underwater shrimp. So I kind of start like that. But today it was just go for it. And I actually really enjoyed that. And there was something very freeing about it.
I think kind of similar to Bree, Roxanne played it safe. I was really hoping she would take a risk and be more definite, stronger color. It's kind of you know, pastel, wimpy baby colors. And I would love to have seen, I know she loves color, and I think she was kind of unsure of herself, and it shows a little bit. I feel like the bird got more, let's say, representational. It looks less whimsical than the last time we saw it. And we were kind of encouraging her to push the envelope in whimsical, sort of like the direction that Esther's went in. And then it would have like a definite voice to it. To me, this doesn't have much of a voice. And a lot of the other ones do. And I think it's not because Roxanne doesn't know how to paint. She's a really good artist, but she just played it safe. And I wish she hadn't. I wish she took a risk.
I agree with that. And I just wish she was like more imaginative with it. I mean, she could have done more things to this, and the white feathers, I think that could have been really cool, but she just kind of covered it up and made a regular bird, so.
And her white whimsical things became leaves.
Yeah. Also, I'm not sure about the composition either. It feels like there's, I don't know, something,
deal.
it kind of feels like there's just like a big triangle, like separated.
And then another one.
Yeah.
I just started applying spray paint and things, and then I went and picked up a stencil, and it had a lot of swirly things on it, and I was like, oh, this is really fun, and I kind of had a dark background, so I started spraying white. And then Ellie said, when you've done stuff like that, then take a step farther back, and then look and see what you see. And one of the swirly things was a bird. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'm supposed to paint a bird. So I did that, and it turned out to be, and I don't know, tomorrow I may be crying because, you know, I didn't make it through the challenge or something, but I feel really positive about it. It was a very positive experience. You did totally get lost in your work. And I liked that. I thought it was fun, and it was fun to pull an image out of the chaos that often results from spray paint and drips and things like that. So it was fun.
Okay, Asia completely transformed this, but it's really cool. I love the color palette. This is something I would...
You think she totally transformed it?
Yeah, I mean, it was really different before.
To me, it looks like the same painting, just better.
I agree that it's better, but I think it's different. She had this red as the focal point, and then she minimized that and made that the focal point. So she switched directions, but it's super cool. I love the color palette.
Yeah.
It's like it's a really good, like, pleasing.
Yeah, I love it. I would totally hang it in my house. I think for me, my second favorite, I like how, I don't know. I just like how expressive it is, and it feels really free.
Yeah, diverse.
And the color is really good, and my eye just keeps going around looking at things, which is what you want. I'm trying to think of what I would do to make it better. Maybe a little more flashy reds.
Maybe. You just love red.
I know, but it's like, it feels so fleshy. It's like, it feels like, you know.
It's a pink painting.
Bodies or something, so I want to see more like red. Like more
I love it
bright
the way it is.
red.
There's one red dot right there.
I want to see more like right in here, like really like knock you out, punch you in the face red.
But that is the center of the painting, so if bright red was right there, that wouldn't look good compositionally.
I don't know. She could have done it lower, like right in here.
It's pretty surreal to be in the final 6. The artists that I'm up against are so talented and gifted, and it's amazing to be side by side with them, and I'm really grateful. Win or lose of the 25,000, I'm just so happy to be here.
This is going to be a very tough elimination, and I mean, we're not the only judges judging.
Yeah,
so,
thank goodness.
Yeah, but it is, I mean, it's pretty, I know all these artists are extremely talented and really good at what they do, and I'll be sad for any of them to go.
We've had a lot of, eliminations, like in the last challenge, you losing 3 people all at once. I'm glad I was not around to see their sad faces when they got cut. It might have made me cry, but and they were all so good. It was so close by like, I think 1 point.
Less than 1 point.
Less than a point.
Crazy.
They lost that. So that's definitely a heartbreaker. And I think the 6 artists that we have left, like you said, they're all really good. I think this is going to be a very difficult decision to see who is eliminated from here. And I'm super excited for the next competition.
I know, me too.
Because they're definitely getting harder as we go. And a lot, it's bringing out the competition.
It's really bringing out the best in each person.
It's really
too.
bringing out the best in them. I think these artists that get to stick around, we're going to see a tremendous amount of growth in them, and that's exciting.
Well, I think, like, from how I paint, I would say maybe 80 is good. Because, like, that's how I paint. I think, like, I will finish the painting and, like, call it successful for myself at this point. So I feel like it's good.
I would say it's in the between 80 and I'd say 80 to 85.
Boy, there are a lot of really good people in there doing them. I would probably give myself, I don't know, maybe a 70, 75, something like that, because it's not what I normally do. I'm very proud of what I did. It really pushed me, and I did something I haven't ever done before. There's only 6 of us left, so, if I'm in the number 5 spot, that's okay. I just want to beat the next challenge.
It's hard. I never know, because sometimes it just really throws you a curveball. I have no idea what the judges are going to say, but I hope I place. I really like my piece. When I was painting it today, I was envisioning hanging it up in my house, and I'm thinking, where am I going to hang it up? And then I'm like, you're supposed to sell it, but I don't want to. I want to hang it up in my house. So I think it's a really successful piece, and I hope they think so too.
Everyone. So welcome back to another elimination. As you guys all know, one person has to be eliminated in order for the challenge to go on. And so that's what we're about to get down to. You guys all did an amazing job. The judges loved all of your paintings. One person in particular, though, got a higher score than any of the scores yet so far on the show. And so that person with a score of 94.3 is Esther.
I literally done like 3 abstracts in my whole life before that. And just seeing that it could work with like the way I paint, and I still can incorporate like all of the mark making and all the like building up layers and like refining the form when it's not as much form. Basically I had this like relation that like you don't necessarily have to have specific defined subject matter to work with like stacking on brush strokes and form, like showing form, even if you like don't have something like representational. You can do it in the abstract way as well. So yeah, that was good. I should do more of them.
And very, okay, actually not that close behind, but the next 2 are very close. So in second place with a amazing score still of 87.8, we have Elena.
I've definitely grown, for sure. Like I'm way more confident in myself, for sure.
Very close behind, only 0.1 behind. Yeah, is Sawyer. 87.7, sorry, so 87.7. So.
I feel very blessed, and I'm thankful that the Lord has given me the strength to get through the challenges that I have and the ability and the skills to do so. I'm very excited. I really want to come in strong in the next challenges, and I want to get through. I want to win.
In 4th place with a score of 83.3, we have Asia.
I would have a travel fund, I think, because For the first time this year, I got to go to Europe, to Greece, and it changed my life. And now all I want to do is travel. So that would be definitely up there.
I can tell you guys love the suspense, so I'm just trying to milk it. In 5th place, with a score of 81.3, we have Bree.
I actually thought we would all be like, really close. Like I didn't know who was gonna win, much less like I didn't think that there would be a pretty big gap like that. I thought it was gonna be closer. So yeah, just shocked.
I'm very sorry, Roxanne. It was still a good score with a score of 76.6. You are a low score, unfortunately, but it was a very high scoring challenge. The average was in the 80s, so you guys should all be really proud of yourselves. All of you guys did really well. It was a tough challenge, painting straight out of your head. That's not something that a lot of artists can do. And I think that it is a really important skill to have to be able to pull the far things in air. So congratulations to all of you guys, and especially you, Esther, for your amazing painting. All the judges really saw it and recognized it, so you guys did amazing. Sorry, Roxanne.
Not a problem. I'll join my friends. Either way.
I'm telling you, it's like going back and forth between Roxanne and I.
Sad, disappointed, and relieved.
It's a good group to be with. We're all so great.
Another one. You've been my mate.
Now you're on your own, girl.
I know. Oh, stop.
Sadly, we are down to only 5 artists left in the main challenge, but as you guys all know, one person will come back and join the final 2 in the very end of this. Roxanne, if you could take off your overalls, I'm sorry.
It's been a stressful week for me, so I was pretty tapped out, so it was right and good, and I totally needed a break. So hopefully by the time we do our next mini challenge, I'll be ready to get back in the game.